Good evening, and welcome to Texas Holdem 101. Tonight we're going to learn how to play Texas Holdem. To start, we first need to learn what hand beats what. The best hand in poker, a royal flush, a straight flush. Next we have four of a kind. Next we have a full house, a flush, a straight, and we have three of a kind. Next we have two pair. The second lowest hand is one pair. The lowest hand is one high card. When playing with your friends, everyone's going to get the opportunity to deal, as the deck is passed around the table. In a casino, you have a dealer who's going to do the dealing for you. This button is going to move around the table in a clockwise fashion, simulating everyone's turn to deal. Next up, we need to discuss the blinds. Those are forced bets to guaranteed action on every pot. The two blinds are to the left of the button. The person immediately left of the button, Michael in this case, is going to be the small blind, and John, two to the left of the button, is going to be the big blind. The big blind, in this case, is $10, and the small blind is typically half of that. So the blinds will be $5 and $10. Now that the blinds are posted, each player will receive two cards, face down. Michael is going to act first, and he has three options. He can call the bet, he can raise the bet, or he can fold and relinquish all interest in this pot. Michael?
Call.
Calls the bet. John's already in for $10, so now he has two options. He can check since he's already in, or he can raise the bet. John?
Check.
When he goes into the pot, and now we're going to put up the first three cards, known as the flop. These are community cards that all players can use to build their hand. Michael's going to act first because he's the first player still in the game left of the button with cards. Right now he has three options. He can check, he can bet, or he can fold. But you never want to fold when there's not a bet in front of you, because you could just check and receive a free card that can help your hand. Michael?
Check.
He checks, and now John has those same three options.
I will bet 10.
John bets 10. That's the minimum bet because the big blind was $10.
I will raise to 25.
Okay. Michael checked raise in this spot. This is an advanced play where you're showing weakness at first to try to trick your opponent and then raising the bet. So now John has three options. He can call the raise, he can re-raise, or he can fold. John?
I will call the bet.
Okay, so he calls the bet. He did it absolutely perfectly. Put in a green, matched it up the $25 bet, and took back his chips. We keep the chips in front of the players until the betting round is completed, and then we take them into the pot. Now we're going to go to the fourth card, known as the turn, a 5 of clubs, and Michael's going to start the action.
Check.
He checks,
Check.
and John checks. So now we're going to go to the fifth card, the river. They both check, so this is also known as a free card. Now we're going to start the final round of betting. Michael's still going to be first, how he has been throughout this whole hand.
$50.
He bets $50. Now John can fold and give up. He can call the bet to see what Michael has, or if he really likes what he has, he can raise.
I will call the bet.
He calls the bet. Michael, being the aggressor who made the bet, is going to need to show his cards first. Michael shows two pairs, kings and eights. Now you might wonder, he has kings and eights on the board, and there's also a 5 in his hand. But 8's higher than 5, so he's going to play the best cards on the board, which are kings and 8s. Now it's John's turn to show the cards. John has a flush. 5 of the same suit. He's using 1 out of his hand and 4 of the community cards, which is completely fine. So we take the losing hand and we put it in the muck. Now let's talk about the muck for a minute because it's very important. Once your cards touch the muck, your hand is dead. So make sure when showing your cards, you keep them in front of you and you don't fling them at the dealer. Doesn't matter if they're face up or face down, once they hit the muck, those cards are dead. Back to Michael and he calls the bet. Money goes in the pot, and now we're going to flip up the first 3 cards, known as the flop. Michael's first act. He checks. John?
I'll go all in.
He's going all in. He's betting all the money that he has in front of him. This is a very important point to remember. When playing No Limit Hold'em, we play what's called table stakes. That means you can bet everything that you have in front of you, which is on the table. You can't go into your pocket to get more money, not to make a bet or to make a call. So now Michael has 2 options. He can fold and give up on the hand, or he can call the bet. Since he has less money than John, he can't raise. Plus, John has all his money in anyways, so there is nothing to raise him. Michael?
Call.
Michael calls the bet. 2 things happen at this point. The dealer is either going to figure out how much money Michael has and match it up with what John has and take it into the pot, or they're going to play out the hand and do the money afterwards. In this case, we're going to match it up. So we just match up the stacks. And they worked out perfectly. So the all-in was for $155. Now that money goes into the pot, and now there's going to be no more action in this hand because Michael doesn't have any more money. So in a tournament, each player flips their hands over, and a big hand these players have. Michael with ace-jack has 2 pairs, and John has the ace-king. At this point, Michael's about a 75% favorite. Next, we're going to have the turn card. Situation just got a little worse for John. He has 3 kings to win. And he didn't get it. So Michael's going to win the hand. John's hand goes into the muck, and Michael gets the pot. John was the big blind, so now he has 2 options. He can check or raise the bet.
Check.
Check. Money goes into the pot, and now let's flip up the first 3 cards, also known as the flop. Michael's gonna act first. He has 3 options. He can check, bet, or fold. But you never want to fold when there isn't a bet to you, because the players behind you might check and you could get a free card. Michael checks.
10.
And John bets $10. You might think Michael's raising here, but technically he isn't. When you want to raise, you need to announce what you want to do. Raise. Throwing in a higher value chip is just a call. The reason being is because he might throw in a higher value chip to get a reaction from John and then make his decision after he sees the reaction. That's a no-no in poker. So throwing in an overchip is just a call. Michael receives change, $15. And now we'll go on to the 4th card, also known as the turn. Michael starts this round of betting. He checks.
Check.
John checks. Free card. And the 5th card, the free one, is also known as the river. Michael to act first. He checks. John.
I bet $30.
John bets $30. Michael calls the bet. Since John was the aggressor, he's going to need to turn over his hand first. John looked a little confused on what he had. So in this case, all he needs to do is turn over his cards and the dealer will announce to the whole table what the player has. John has a pair of 9s with an ace, and his next highest card is a 10. He was bluffing. Michael has a flush. 5 of the same suit. He used 4 of the community cards and then just 1 out of his hand. John lost, so his cards go in the muck, and Michael's awarded the pot. Thank you for watching our introductory video to Texas Hold'em. Hopefully now you have the confidence to step up to a table, post the blinds, know who beats who, and even maybe make a bluff on the river. Stay tuned for more videos.